proper judging. Gavelier Erling, challenge accepted. Challenge accepted, Gavelier Erling.
Back in 2016, I accepted a dangerous challenge. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, Gaveliers, and my dear guests. I used to despise public speaking to the extent that I would rather live with spiders than give a speech. And because of that, it began to hinder in my life. For instance, whenever I should go to a restaurant, my dad always made it a point for me to order extra ketchup. Whether we needed extra ketchup or not, I still had to order extra ketchup. On my way to the counter, I always used to prepare myself to talk to the counter. And so I thought, oh, it's 12 o'clock. Wait, should I say afternoon or evening? Let's go to afternoon. And then I should ask the extra ketchup. Oh, don't forget, we need to ask her how she is, right? Excuse me, madam, what would you like to order? As soon as I made eye contact with her, the alarms started to go off. Mission abort! Mission abort! Retreat! I repeat, retreat! And before she could say a word, I ran back to my seat. And that's not all. Whenever I used to visit my family friends, I used to hide behind my mother's back, saying, were you able to hear anything? Because they too didn't. You could see what was my condition back then. Public speaking was my biggest fear. And because of that, it made me my prisoner of my own. Now, seeing all of this, my parents were concerned, especially my dad. So my dad, just like any other dad, searched for a solution. He went high and low and finally found one. He found a public speaking club near my home called Qatar Gavels. Now, my dad was quite smart. He booked my first Gavels meeting to be attended as a guest without my knowledge. Once I came to know about this, I whined and I pined, but my dad did not hear my plea. I even begged my dad, saying, please do not join me to this club. I'm begging you. I will give you 3 speeches a week at home, but please do not. Well, you know what happened. My dad, he did not negotiate, and I ended up attending the first Gavels meeting. I still remember I sat at the corner of the room, frightened during the entire meeting. And to make things worse, Murphy's Law came into effect. The law states that if anything can go wrong, it will go wrong. The president of the club came up to the podium and said, good evening, dear Gaveliers. Today was an amazing meeting. But to this amazing meeting, we have some special guests. Let us ask them to introduce themselves. Let us first start with Erling. This is where everything went wrong. As soon as I heard my name, I turned white as if I saw a ghost. A shiver went down my spine, and in a soft and a feeble voice, I introduced myself. After the meeting, as I was eagerly waiting to leave the room, the president called me and I turned. She said, are you interested in enrolling into this club? As I was eagerly going to decline, I saw a cold stare behind me that compelled me to say yes. And so I became an official member of Qatar Gavels Club. Now, this is just the beginning of the journey. There's still more to it. After becoming a member, I went for so many meetings, and finally, I met the biggest battle in my life, the most dreadful meeting of all, the meeting where I had to give my P1 speech. John F. Kennedy once said, public speaking is the art of diluting a 2-minute idea with a 2-hour vocabulary. But my problem was, I had a 2-hour vocabulary that barely reached 2 minutes. With some effort, I made and I pieced together my P1 speech. But the worst is yet to come. I had to present my P1 speech in front of the entire Gavels club. And so, a week before my P1 speech, I felt extremely excited. No, that did not happen. I felt a lot of stress, nervousness, loss of appetite, fear, but you name it, I had it. And as a week turned into a few days before the meeting, a few days turned into few hours before the meeting, I turned to stone. When the time came to deliver my P1 speech, I was paralyzed, unable to move from my seat. But then, with some effort, I made it to the stage. I took a deep breath and gave away my speech. As soon as I finished my speech, I said a big thank you and I ran back to my chair, exhausted. It was at that very moment I experienced the true meaning of freedom. So, dear Toastmasters and Gaveliers, you can see from this how I accepted my challenge. And because of that, it has made me who I am today. So, if life throws lemons at you, accept it. Make some lemonade. And along the way, try to sell it. Who knows, you might earn some profit. Thank you. Back to the contest, Gav.